Quick break, but I'm back now. So let's dive back into the mix and see where we're at. So far, we've balanced the guitars, we've balanced some of the vocals, we've balanced the tracks in general, just getting the levels correct. So now it's all about fine-tuning and creating more space for all the different elements so that all the different tracks can live together in the mix and not sound like they're overlapping frequencies of other ones or taking away presence or, you know, any great moments in the songs. You know, you don't want to have other instruments taking away those moments from others. So we're just gonna go back into the mix and just clean up all those different things one by one. So let's hear the mix from top and see what we can do. So right away, I'm hearing that there is some frequency overlap with the guitar and the chords. So I'm going to filter this solo guitar slightly. And let's see if we can get the solo guitar to kind of fit and have its own space among the other guitars that are playing. So here we go. So this guitar doesn't need as much low end because we boosted low end in the other guitars. So I'm definitely gonna roll off some of these lows in this guitar. Let's figure out where. So that sounds pretty good. What I'm gonna do sometimes, I like to give the solo guitar a slightly different character, just to stick out. And the way that I'm gonna do that is doing a guitar amp, just like this. And now you're gonna hear that the guitar has a whole different tone to it, and we're gonna find a cool a tone that we like by changing the amplification or changing the cabinets that we're using. So I like the punchy or the sweet. Let's play it back again. There's this vocal here. I'm not sure if that's meant to be there. I'm gonna put it in the lead vocal for now. All right, let's play back this track. Beverage. So I like this one. I just want to bring down the bass, the low end in this guitar to make the mids really sing better. So I added some mids, took out the bass. With the solo guitar, you really want that guitar just to sing out in those mid-range frequencies among the other ones. So let's play it back and hear it again. It's nice. Let's go to a different section in the song where it's playing. So obviously right there, it's gonna be a little loud. Let me bypass it and see how this sounds. Niggas riding on the way. It's my Richie. I can do is actually automate this volume here. I'm gonna bring this down 4 dB, see how that sounds.
Niggas riding on the wave. It's Mad Richie, we the wave. And you know we on the wave. And you know we on the wave. Niggas riding on the wave. It's Mad Richie, we the wave. And you know we on the wave. And you know we on the wave.
So that kind of fixed that problem. In that section, the guitar was playing a lot more aggressive and louder. So that amp really boosted that a lot, way too much, made it too harsh. So all I did simply to fix that was just duck it down 8.8 decibels. So that sounds good with the rest of the guitar. So let's go and find another problem to fix. So here's a track from top.
Beverage.
So that sounds like a nice intro vocal that obviously needs some reverb. Like it really needs to be felt. So I'm gonna add this play to it. Let's see what that does. So this vocal here may need its own reverb. You know, I'm hearing something that's big, cathedral-like, something that like really just makes this vocal speak. So, because it's kind of churchy in a way, you know. Let's try this vintage verb and mix it in, see what we get. So I'm applying this directly on the track itself. Let's see how that sounds in the mix. So I think again, since this track is the same singer as this track here, we probably can use this same plugin here, which reduce some of that low end in the voice. So let's hear how that sounds. So that's not bad. I'm going to do one more thing, and that is level the volume. So basically I want to make sure that those are like very consistent. So let's use this CLA two-way compressor, one of my favorites for just doing a nice little vocal level. And now I want to bring out some more of that air in this, this intro vocal, just make it speak to you a little bit more. So let's do a shelf EQ. And if we need to, if it gets too harsh, we can duck it back with this EQ because it works as an EQ and a compressor at the same time. So that's the nice thing about it. So here we go with this vocal. right there, I was getting some of that, you know, some of those higher frequencies that are hard to hear when you're doing ums and ems. It was getting a little thin, so I'm gonna try and duck it back just a little bit with the compression function. So let's try this again. So that's not bad. Let's keep going on.
Niggas riding on the wave. It's Matt Richie, we the wave. And you know we on the wave. And you know we on the wave. Niggas riding on the wave. It's Matt Richie, we the wave. And you know we on the wave. And you know we on the wave.
I'm living life like this a fantasy. No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving. So
you can hear that there's that background vocal, and these two vocals need to really play off of each other. So for this background vocal, let us start by giving it maybe some space, maybe some reverb, and then going from there. Again, this is just a mono vocal, so I'm just gonna pan it straight up and down. And let's play with it. Here we go.
We on the way.
We on the way, yeah. We on the way, yeah.
On the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's Matt Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the way.
On the way, on the way.
So let's try and give it that same plate reverb that the main vocal has, just to see if it sounds good. If it doesn't, we'll try a different reverb.
On the way, on the way.
It's Matt Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's Matt Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the way.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah. I'm living life like this a fantasy. No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day.
So that sounded pretty good. One thing I want to do though is tune that vocal just a little bit. So I'm gonna drag this same auto tune over here and see if that helps just lock in these harmonies a little bit better.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah. I'm living life like this a fantasy. No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day.
So it sounds good. There's some parts in the auto tune that are just doing too much. So I would definitely want to fix those.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah. I'm living life like this a fantasy. No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving new goals.
So another thing now is like we want this vocal to sonically sound different, have a different texture, because it's a ad-lib, it's a background vocal. We don't want it to have the same texture as the lead vocal. So I'm not gonna do the same processing. I'm gonna do different processing, and I'm gonna try using the virtual mix rack by Slate just to give some different character, some different things. So let's try this. I'm gonna start with, let's start with this. I always like to add a little saturation first to give it that different color in this vocal. So here we go.
On the way.
We on the way, yeah.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's Matt Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the way.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah. I'm living life like this a fantasy. No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day.
And now I'm gonna grab the EQ and just kind of shape this vocal. And I'm also listening to my speakers in mono. because it's very important for me to hear how this harmony vocal directly overlaps with the lead vocal. So I want to listen to it in mono and go from there. So here we go.
Like this a fantasy, no guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day, build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving new goals, just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. We on the way, yeah. I'm living life like this a fantasy.
So we want to go to a part where there's like a lot of vocal action going. Sometimes it can be hard to affect background vocals or harmonies because they're sporadic. They don't, they're not singing the whole entire time. So you want to go to a section in the song definitely where there's enough of them.
We on the way, yeah.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's my Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the way.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah. I'm living life like this a fantasy, no guarantee if this is meant to be.
So there's a little bit of boxiness that's covering up his vocal, his harmony vocal. So I want to take that out with this band here. Let's find that frequency first though.
We on the way, yeah.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way.
Come on, don't mess with me. Here we go.
We on the way, yeah.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's my Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the way.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah. I'm living life.
So I'm hearing it around like 600.
We on the way, yeah.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's my
So some of that frequency, I want to just dip some of that out. So let's dip some of that out.
We on the way, yeah.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's my Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the way.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah. I'm living life like this a fantasy, no guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day, build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving new.
So that's sounding kind of good now. The harmony vocal kind of has a different texture to it from the lead vocal. So I think we could actually boost some more like clarity in the harmony vocal just to finalize it. So let's find that frequency and boost a little bit of it.
The fakes that I used to know, I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall, guess you don't know me well. I put on for my team and for the.
Let's go back where it's playing a little bit more.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's my Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the way.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah. I'm living life like this a fantasy, no guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day, build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving new goals, just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall, guess you don't know me well. I put on for my team and for the reason we can all exhale and celebrate the moments we done been through hell. I set my own goals.
So right there, I'm getting a nice blend, a nice balance. So I like that. I'm gonna keep that and move to the next thing. Let's see.
Set my own goals. I pick up what you can't hold. Never give up my soul. I'm letting my dreams unfold, cause I gotta wait.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's my Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
I think this guitar still needs to come down a bit. So let's bring it down about another 2 dB.
Letting my dreams unfold, cause I gotta wait.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's my Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the way.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
This is sounding kind of good now. I want to actually, these little background vocals that are actually the chorus, I want to tighten those up. So I think the delay, or not the delay, but the release, yeah, I didn't change the release on these. I want to make the release tighter. So these vocals smack a little bit better. So let's hear them.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's Mad Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
And you know we on the way.
We on the way, yeah.
Niggas riding on the wave.
On the way, on the way.
It's Mad Richie, we the wave.
We the way, yeah.
And you know we on the way.
On the way, on the way.
So right there, now you can hear that the vocals, the pronunciation is better. Because the artist didn't pronounce the best that they could in this performance, I wanted that release to be quick, so that the compressor could really react and just bring out some more of the, the articulation of the vocals. So let's see what this is over here.
So when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it, then my nigga.
So we got another vocal, kind of like another verse right here that we should deal with. So let's solo this and hear our sounds.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas moving militant won't go through what we did again. Solid, we do not pretend.
Cool. So I think what we're definitely gonna need for this is just basically an SSL SSL channel. We're just gonna do another basic compression and EQ. We're definitely gonna need some reverb on this. So let's mess with this vocal a little bit.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast. Send me.
So the first thing I'm hearing is like he recorded this like very close to the mic, like this. So it's picking up a lot of low end. So I want to take all this low end out here, bring this down, do a bell, and just basically roll off as much low end as I can that I for sure don't need.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast.
So right there it's getting a little thin. So let's bring back in the low end.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we.
That's cool. And now let's do the filter.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve.
So I'm still getting a lot of like resonance in that low end that I want to find. So I think I may need to scoop this up a little bit higher.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it, then my nigga.
So I'm hearing it right there. It's getting a little thin. So now let me boost back some of the gain.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it, then my niggas moving militant won't go through what we did again.
So right there, the low end is kind of controlled, simply just by a high pass and a low filter bell. So now let's hear how that sounds in the mix.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it, then my.
So I definitely want to take out all the and the S's and all that stuff. So let's just grab our de-esser again, and let's find where those and all the S's and all that stuff are. So here we go.
Swear when.
So it's about right there. His S's are a little bit lower than Matthews, the other singer in here. So let's reduce those S's now.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it, then my niggas moving militant won't go through what we did again. Solid, we do not pretend. We're mine to the end. I ain't switching friends, and that's on the gang. We do not pretend. We're mine to the end.
All right, cool. Let's hear how the sounds now.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I let that loud blast. Send me who you wanna. wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it, then my niggas.
So because he's holding his notes a lot, we definitely want to engage the compressor, and we want the compressor to really just get that articulation a lot better. So I'm going to be listening for better articulation when I use this compressor. So here we go.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast, send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas moving militant, won't go through what we did again. Solid, we do not pretend, we're mine to the end. I ain't switching friends, and that's on the gang.
So that sounds a little bit better. Let's hear that in the mix.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast, send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas moving militant, won't go through what we did again. Solid, we do not pretend, we're mine to the end. I ain't switching friends, and that's on the gang. We do not pretend, we're mine to the end. I ain't switching friends, and that's on the gang.
So that sounds pretty good. Again, this is like a rap vocal, so we want to treat it a little bit different than the singing. But as long as the S's aren't harsh and we can articulate and like really hear every single word that he's saying, we're definitely in a good place. So let's hear that again.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast, send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas moving militant, won't go through what we did again. Solid, we do not pretend, we're mine to the end. I ain't switching friends, and that's on the gang. We do not pretend, we're mine to the end. I ain't switching friends, and that's on the gang. Niggas riding on the wave,
On the way, on the way,
it's Mad Richie, we the wave.
we the way, yeah, yeah.
And you know we on the wave,
On the way, on the way,
and you know we on the wave.
we on the way, yeah.
Niggas riding on the wave,
On the way, on the way,
it's Mad Richie, we the wave.
we the way, yeah, yeah.
And you know we on the way,
On the way, on the way.
and you know we on the way.
Ooh, sounding so good. It's coming together. Let's go back and play this section of this vocal again.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast, send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what
This vocal definitely needs more articulation in this. We're not really getting much of it out of the compressor. So what I want to do right now is I want to actually use a smack attack. And I'm going to put this last just because there may be other things I need to do. But I want to accentuate the transients of his voice a little bit more. Usually you only use this with drums, but this is a trick that you can do with vocals sometimes if the vocals aren't giving you the articulation that you need.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast, send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas.
So already that's sounding, the vocal is really popping out. So let's bypass this.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that.
All right, let's put it back in now.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast, send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas moving militant, won't go through what we did again. Solid, we do not pretend.
And basically I chose this tighter setting right here on the attack because it's not like it's a snare or a kick or a drum or something where we want the fatness of the whole thing. So I chose this really small attack right here.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast, send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas moving militant, won't go through what we did again. Solid, we do not pretend, we're mine to the end. I ain't switching friends.
So that sounded pretty good, but it's also bringing up some more of those S's. So I'm gonna actually compress these just a little bit more.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast, send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas moving militant, won't go through what we did again. Solid, we do not pretend, we're mine to the end.
So basically, I de-essed this, I pulled this range, but ducked it a little bit more, just because this smack attack was actually accentuating some of those S's and those T's that we didn't want. So I think we're in a good place. Let's hear the vocal again.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't.
So I'm gonna give this the same plate reverb, but with rap vocals, any type of hip hop vocals, rap vocals, you don't want to add too much reverb, especially to the lead. You want it to be tight. So I'm just gonna give it just the teeniest bit, just so that it has a little ambiance to it.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas moving militant won't go through what we did again. So
just that. Let's hear that in the mix.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas moving.
So it sounded pretty good. I want to copy this this F6 plugin to here because there's still like some bass in his voice that I just don't like, and it's doing a little bit too much. So I'm gonna duck it with this. So let's see where it's at right now.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the drilling then. Now I love that loud blast. Send me who you wanna send. If they can't believe what we achieve, we make it feel it. Then my niggas moving militant won't go through what we did again. Solid, we do not pretend. We're mine to the end. I ain't switching friends, and that's on the game. We do not pretend. We're
So that sounded pretty good right there. I feel like the low end in his voice is tight and controlled. I'm really liking how this sounds.
We do not pretend, we're mine to the end. I ain't switching friends, and that's on the game. We do not pretend, we're mine to the end. I ain't switching friends, and that's on the game. Niggas riding on the wave, on the wave, on the wave. It's Mad Richie, we the wave, yeah. We on the wave, on the wave, on the wave.
So it looks like we got another vocal here, another harmony vocal. Sometimes people like to send doubles of vocals, so I just want to look at these waveforms and compare them. This purple to this pink one, I just want to see how they look in the same. For the most part, they're looking different, so that's good. So let's play this pink track that we got to mix yet.
On the way, on the way. It's Mad Richie, we the wave, yeah. We on the way, on the way, on the way. And you know we on the way, yeah. Niggas riding on the way.
So it looks like this is like a lower harmony. For sure, I want to add a little bit of auto-tune to it.
On the way, on the way. Mad Richie, we the wave, yeah. And you know we on the way, on the way, on the way. And you know we on the way, we on the way, yeah. Niggas riding on the wave, on the way, on the way. It's Mad Richie.
So at the moment, I'm just going to leave it just like that. I just found a nice volume that I liked. Didn't add any reverb, anything. It just kind of blended in nice. Later on, though, if we need to adjust that or move that around, we will. Cool. So we've mixed the guitars, the solo guitar. I think we need to get more into the drums now, and the 808 and the kick. So let's hear the mix again.
Life like this a fantasy. No guarantee if this.
Let's take out this 808.
Life like this a fantasy. No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they...
So definitely we're gonna want more of that kick. That kick is really driving the song, that doom, doom, doom. So first of all, I'm just gonna increase the volume and then we're just gonna go from there. So here we go.
No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality. Achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking.
So this particular kick has a lot of frequencies, like sub frequencies going on. And these sub frequencies are definitely gonna mess with the 808. So I want to see if I can tighten this up a little bit by removing like anywhere between 40 or 50 hertz and below. So let's see how that sounds.
No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall, guess you don't know me well. I put on for my team and for the reason we can all exhale and celebrate the moments we done been through hell. I set my own goals.
So right around 28, anything below that was kind of just rumble, and it wasn't contributing to the punch of the kick. So I just took that out. Let's hear the kick again, see what else we need to do now.
Fantasy, no guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day, build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving new goals.
I think one thing that we could try and do, sometimes this takes away from the kick, but we can just try compressing the kick slightly. Compressing the kick to try and take away some of that low end rumble, like Tony, 40, 50 hertz and below. Sometimes using the compressor can help with that and just get more of the punch. So let's try and see if we can do that in the mix.
No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day, build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall, guess you don't know me well. I put on for my team and for the reason we can all exhale and celebrate the moments we done been through hell. I set my own goals.
So that gave a little bit more punch to the kick in the mix, but we still have quite a bit of the low end that I don't wish to have so much. Kicks can be hard though, because if you take out some of that low end with this particular sample, it can lead to less punch in your mix. So you just got to be very careful with how you do with the kick.
No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day, build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these hate.
I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to use a plugin such as this, which is just a passive, or it's a Pultec style EQ, and these are very smooth for just boost. They're just very smooth for low end, especially kicks. So I'm going to set that here, and I'm going to attenuate actually, because I want to get rid of some of that like rumble, low rumble, 40 hertz and below.
No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day, build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall.
So as soon as I started doing that, I was already losing some punch. So I'm not going to do too much. I'm just going to leave it there. Let's see where the kick is at, or the 808. So I want to mix this in with this new kick now. So let's drop this out and mix it back in.
See, no guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day, build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall, guess you don't know me well. I put on for my team and for the reason we can all exhale and celebrate the moments we.
So sometimes when you got kicks and 808s overlapping, one thing you want to check for sure is the phase. Basically, you want to flip the phase and just see if the kick and the 808, if it becomes more punchier or if it becomes less punchier. If it becomes more punchier, keep that phase in. If it doesn't, just keep the natural phase that the tracks were given to you. So let's try it.
No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day, Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad?
So in this case, phases isn't an issue. As the tracks are, they're already as punchy as they can be. So we really just want to shape the tone of this 808 so that it can actually cut in the mix and live with that kick. So let's play the track again.
No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day.
So first of all, this 808 doesn't have a lot of higher frequencies. So one thing we can try to do is add some higher harmonics by distorting it. And I'll actually use the lo-fi plugin here. And I'll just add some more distortion here. So let's hear how it sounds. So that also made it a lot thicker, a lot bigger too. So we can reduce the volume if needed, but let's play it in the track first.
No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality. Achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall, guess you don't know me well. I put on for my team and for the reason we can all exhale and celebrate the moment.
So because I added distortion to this 808, I could actually tuck it back further in the mix, which allowed the punch of the kick to take over, but then the tone and the boominess of the 808 to be in the back end, which that combination and that marriage together between the kick and the 808 is very important. You always want to give one more importance over the other, and in this case, we want that punch over the tone and the boominess of the 808. So the kick is louder, the 808 is lower, but you can still feel the 808 lower. Or you can still feel the 808 even though it's lower in volume because of the distortion plugin that we added here. And that's really it. You know, I don't really do too much crazy EQ or anything with low end. I just try and balance it with the mix, with the rest of the mix. So I think I just want to hear the whole mix, maybe mess with these hi-hats and these other things here, since I haven't already. But let's hear how it is.
Like this a fantasy, no guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see.
So I think those clicks and knocks, those 808 sounds right here, the original 808 clicks and knocks, I don't think I really mess with those too much. So I want to bring those out in the mix more. So I'm going to bring the volume up, and then I also want to add a little reverb, give them a little vibe. So let's hear how that sounds.
See if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me?
I think right here this is like a drum. All right, so that's cool, but we definitely want to make sure it doesn't mess with the low end that's already in the other kick. So we're gonna just scoop that out for sure. Let's just do 40 and below. Let's see.
Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality.
So this is gonna need some reverb. Let's try and just do a true verb. And let's see how this sounds. We want to hear the tail of the claves and the clicks and all that stuff. So here we go.
Every day, build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality. Achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall, guess you don't know me well. I put on for my team and for the reason we can all exhale and celebrate the moments we done been through hell. I set my own goals, I pick up what you can't hold. Never give up my soul, I'm letting my dreams unfold. Cause I gotta wait.
Niggas riding on the wave, on the wave, on the wave. It's man Richie, we the way, yeah. And you know we on
So because this track actually has like this kick pattern in it, I want to be able to affect that separately. So I'm gonna actually duplicate this track. And in this one, I'm gonna delete everything that isn't this, this little kick roll thing that they got going on here. Because we don't want that kick drowning in reverb. So I took out the reverb there. You can play it and you hear it right there. So everything else, you know, right here, we're gonna delete that because this is just the clicks and stuff. And we'll just keep it going. You just do this like this. So now I'm gonna be able to change the volume of this and affect it different in the mix and have more control. So anywhere you see those kicks come in, right here again, you know, all of that, you wanna delete it there. And then you wanna delete all of this, like that. You want to take out those clicks there, take out those clicks. Yeah, sometimes in mixing you gotta do like some editing, you know, this is editing process now. So, almost there. Delete these clicks. And all I'm doing is just highlighting the area and clicking the delete button. Super quick, super easy. Go all the way here, delete all of this, delete all of that, delete this, and we're almost to the end of the song. Sometimes you gotta zoom in on these and just make sure those are different clicks. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Delete all this. I don't think I deleted that here. And just keep going through the track, cleaning it up. Okay, we're literally at the end of the song now. Boom. Cool, so now we have this 808 that's in here, separated by all these clicks. So now let's mix that in to the volume that we like.
Every day, build an empire, I would say.
So as you can see, we can turn this up way more.
Empire, I would say. All these build an empire, I would say. All these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality, achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall, guess you don't know me well. I put on for my team and for the reason we can all exhale and celebrate the moments we done been through hell. I set my own goals, I pick up what you can't hold. Never give up my soul, I'm letting my dreams unfold, cause I gotta wait.
So that is sounding pretty good, and that's how you can, you know, that's how you can affect and have more control over your mix. Sometimes you need to duplicate a track so that you can adjust just those moments in that track and delete everything else that you don't want. So this mix is sounding pretty good. I think the only other thing I need to do at this point to be done with it at this point is kind of add some bus processing, which I haven't really done yet. I've just been cleaning up the track. So let's just hear the track and do some overall bus processing now.
I pick up what you can't hold, never give up my soul, I'm letting my dreams unfold, cause I gotta wait.
Niggas riding on the wave, on the wave, on the wave. It's marriage.
So overall, I'm just going to do a simple multi-band. I want to control some of the low end. So since this is on the mix bus now, as you can see here, and since this is on the mix bus, we want to make sure that we set this in linear phase so that we don't get any distortions as we're affecting the whole mix. So now we just want to grab the low end and bring the threshold up, bring the ratio somewhere around 2. I like to bring the attack somewhere around 50. And I'll just dial this down until we get a healthy, like, low-end balance overall.
I pick up what you can't hold. Never give up my soul. I'm letting my dreams unfold, cause I got away.
Niggas riding on the way, on the way, on the way. It's Mad Richie, we the way, yeah. And you know we on the way, on the way, on the way. And you know we on the way, yeah. Niggas riding on the way.
So I like that a lot. Kind of balance the low end a little bit better. Let's keep going in the mix and listen to what we can do.
It's Mad Richie, we the way, yeah. And you know we on the way, on the way, on the way. And you know we on the way, we on the way, yeah.
Section right here, you know, the guitar is actually doing a lot of solo work, so we want to highlight that a little bit more. So let's see where it starts and boost that volume.
On the way, and you know we on the way, we on the way, yeah.
It starts right here, so we can give the guitar a little bit more volume here. I think it goes all the way through, does it?
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't with the
Okay, so right there, when that vocal comes in, we want the guitar back to its negative 13.4.
Swear when I was down bad, wasn't.
So basically right here, all of this right here is gonna be negative 13.4. All of this here can be boosted because this is kind of like a solo section. So you see how that's nice? I mean, the goal of mixing is to bring out the mix, bring out the elements, make it exciting. So certain things, you know, you may need to automate, turn up in volume. Other things you need lower in certain parts of the song. You know, feel free to just be open and express yourself through volume, automation, and just boosting certain things when they need to and ducking other things when they need to, you know?
See if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire.
I'm gonna duck a little bit more of the bass.
See if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality. Achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall, guess you don't know me well. I put on for my team and for the reason we can all exhale and celebrate the moments we done been through hell. I set my own goals. I pick up what you can't hold. Never give up my soul.
It sounded really good. I think I want to accentuate some of the guitars a little bit more, the acoustic guitars, and make them like feel wider and just have a different character. So I'm gonna actually do that by adding saturation. And we're going to use one of my favorite saturation plugins. Where is it? NLS channel. And I like the spike for any spike setting. I like that setting for anything involving, you know, mids, a lot of mid frequency stuff. So let's boost this up and just hear how the guitar sound in the mix afterwards.
See if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality. Achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it, never looking back or taking L's. They look to see me fall, guess you don't know me well. I put on for my team and for the reason we can all exhale and celebrate the moment.
So what that did is it made the guitars have a different color for sure. but it also thickened them up a little bit. So you actually felt the guitars on the, on the width of the guitars a little bit more. So that's what that kind of did. And I think to further feel the guitars, we could add just the slightest bit of reverb, because right now they're completely dry. But if we add just a teeny taste of reverb to them to give them some space, it's gonna make those guitars just feel even more emotion in them. So let's try and find a nice reverb. I really like using spring reverbs for guitars. So actually, if I can do like, I really like the Stomp spring reverb, which is really weird. I just need to find the Stomp plugin. Where's the Stomp plugin? Man, when you got a lot of plugins, you definitely can get lost. There we go. So I'm gonna try using this Stomp reverb, and we're gonna use the spring reverb here. So let's save this, and again, this is a music reverb, so we want to send that to the music track, and this is going to be spring reverb. So we're going to do a send from the guitar to the spring reverb. Where's the spring reverb? There it is. Let's see how this sounds just soloed first, and then let's bring it back into the mix. So here we go. I want to make sure this mixes all the way up though, because we don't want any dry signal going through there. So let's do this again. That's nice. I just gave the guitars more of a vibe, just more emotion in it. So let's play it in the mix and see how it sounds.
Beverage. Niggas riding on the wave, on the wave, on the wave. It's Mad Richie, we the wave, yeah. And you know we on the wave, on the wave, on the wave. And you know we on the wave, we on the wave, yeah. Niggas riding on the wave, on the wave, on the wave. It's Mad Richie, we the wave, yeah. And you know we on the wave, on the wave, on the wave. And you know we on the wave, we on the wave, yeah.
I'm living life like this a fantasy. No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality. Achieving new goals, it's just how I roll.
So overall, the mix is sounding really good. There isn't really much I want to do else at this point. I think this vocal here could use a little bit of de-essing. But that's about it. Just a little bit more of this DS. So let's try that.
I'm living life like this a fantasy. No guarantee if this is meant to be. I gotta reach higher every day. Build an empire, I would say. Hey, all these haters, why they mad at me? They see me climbing up to face reality. Achieving new goals, it's just how I roll. Had to kick out all the fakes that I used to know. I gotta make it.
So I just de-essed the vocal a little bit more. And that is kind of like the finalizing thing that I see in this mix. I'm just gonna play it one more time just so I can verify that.
Reason we can all exhale. and celebrate the moments we done been through. Hell, I set my own goals. I pick up what you can't hold.
I think we're good to go. So basically, just to overcap what we've done in this mix, you know, we first started out with grouping our tracks and labeling them with colors, you know, keeping organized. Then we set up auxes or buses, and we routed the outputs of certain groups of tracks, like the drums or the music, to these auxes so that they were organized and we could affect them through a master level, such as, you know, an aux end or a bus. After that, we started diving into the mix, and the goal was to go wherever inspiration went. So if I felt like a vocal needed some work at that place and time in that moment, I just worked on that vocal. If I felt like the guitars needed some work, I just went straight to the guitars. And so by me mixing out of inspiration, where I'm just going to the next thing that catches my ear and that I'm, you know, just following my gut in that process, I feel like you can mix longer because it's more fun to you. So again, I was just looking out for things that I could accentuate in the mix, and I was also looking out for things that I could reduce or take out or remove the mud or the harshness or just reduce in the mix. So once you're boosting the right things, reducing the right things, you're gonna get a pretty good mix at the end of the day. Again, we balanced the mix through just general levels. You know, we added reverbs, we showed that process, de-essing the vocals before applying any other type of processing. We did that. We also showed how we can add different color to tracks. So for example, like a guitar solo needs to stand out from the rhythmic guitar. And one way to do that is just adding some more saturation. For example, we just threw another guitar amp on our guitar solo track, and it made that guitar solo track speak in the mix and just pop out because it had a different color. So that's another tool in your toolbox that you can use. You know, we went over multi-band, processing and EQ, compression. We went over a lot of things in this mix. So I hope you guys love this song, of course, by Matthew Webb. I'll make sure to link him in the caption or in the description if you want to check out more of his music. And I hope you guys like this process and learned something. So as always, keep tuned. If you are looking to improve your mixing skills, I highly recommend that you download my guide, my free mixing guide that's in the link below. It's going to walk you through some of the 8 most common things to avoid when it comes to mixing that you may be doing or may not be doing, but you definitely want to do these things. This guide will help you, so download that. The link is in the description below. And stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, let me know what you think about this video, what you want to learn more of, and I'll try to do more. But this is just a session that I got from my friend, and I wanted to just share the process behind the scenes with you guys here. So see you guys later. Peace out.